let's just hop right into it. Don't mind my wet hair, it'll dry eventually throughout this video. So this is going to be a reading vlog that's a little bit different from how I normally do it. I haven't done one in a while, that's very true. But normally I have like an entire day set aside and I just read for hours and hours and then I call it quits and I'm done. I think this time I'm just gonna read for a few days, or I'm gonna film for a few days. And obviously not like consistently, I have other things to do. But I would really like to get a couple of books read, so I might just try to read until I get them done, or at least until I make really good progress in them. The book that I'm going to be focusing on is The Fever Code. I just want to get rid of this book. I have read the entire Maze Runner series and I own it, but I really did not enjoy it. You can look at my video, you can watch my video. I also have a short because that video was like really, really long because it was a whole reading vlog. But I also have this book and I'm such a completionist that since I've read the series, I figure I might as well read this one before I just get rid of all of them. So I'm trying to read this. I'm 75 pages in currently, and that's not too bad, but I'm hoping to make some like really, really good progress. So this is the first order of the day. And if I manage to finish The Fever Code within like a couple days, I will also be working on the making of another major motion picture masterpiece by Tom Hanks. I'm getting a lot better at saying that title. It's a bit of a tongue twister, but I think I've got it down now. But this is the other one I'll be working on. I am, how far into this? 188 pages in. So I'm really, really far into this, but I put it on hold because I wanted to read fantasy. So I read Magonia, which should have been probably last week's video, maybe 2 weeks ago, depending on when I get this one out. But I read Magonia because I just wanted some fantasy, and then I wanted to read something else really quickly, so that's when I picked up The Fever Code because I figure it'll be kind of easy reading even if I'm not enjoying it. So I want to read both of these. I do want to get through this one. I'm really, really liking it. It's just, it takes more brain power, and I got really like burnt out for a little while, but I am still enjoying it and I want to finish it. I'm like halfway through. I gotta keep going. So these are the two I will be working on. Not that y'all care or need to know, but my other tripod, which maybe I said in the Magonia video, I don't know, but it kind of broke a little bit. And so I'm using a sturdier tripod, but it's not as tall as the other one. And so I'm trying to like figure out the angle. And usually I can just kind of like sit on my shelf because I have two shelves here. This one's sitting on another one that's like sturdier. And I usually just kind of like half sit on it. But this is not tall enough to be able to do that. So I'm trying to find like the right angle and where I can sit and be comfortable instead of like crouching like this because I've just been crouching and it's not comfortable. So I'm going to be back here, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I do want to be trying to like take some time to chat about them throughout the video. I don't know how to do a reading vlog that's like just reading because that seems kind of boring to me. I know they can be really nice and vibey and maybe some people really, really like that and just like to like sit with that video while they're doing something else. But I always feel like, okay, I'm seeing you read in a different place. I didn't click on this video to just watch somebody read. So I tend to chat a lot in my videos. And there's another YouTuber who does that also, another booktuber, and I will put her name in here because I can't remember it right now. But I love her videos because she's so like rambly and bubbly and fun and like excited all the time. And so I love her videos, and it was also really nice to see somebody else doing those kinds of reading vlogs because I feel like mine tend to be very rambly and like less reading, and I don't know, it was nice to see that like that's an option also. That's an aesthetic also. It's not as like vibey, but those are the kinds that I tend to do. So just to chat about these a little bit before I get started, because I do need to go make breakfast and then hopefully have some time to read before I go into work. The Fever Code. If you don't know what the Maze Runner series is, then I don't know what to tell you. Basically, there's a worldwide disease that is just killing everybody, and so these like big bad scientists decide to take a whole bunch of children and put them in these mazes and study their brains. Honestly, I feel like the plot has some holes. I still don't fully understand exactly why. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, the author did think this out, but also it doesn't make a ton of sense, so you kind of just gotta go with it. Like, it is what it is because it needs to be. And it's not terrible, but I just didn't like them. I really didn't. I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't feel like they were super well-rounded characters, so I wasn't really connecting with most of them. And Thomas was just an idiot the whole time, which is really sad to me because he's played by Dylan O'Brien in the movie. And I love Dylan O'Brien, but I just could not stand Thomas, so I didn't like the books because they're all about him. But I still am giving the Fever Code a try. So this is like before the maze. This is how the maze was built and how all of the kids got to be there in the first place. So it's still all about Thomas, which hopefully he's not as dumb in this one. I'm only 75 pages in. So far he has not sounded like his age, because he's like 4 years old in the beginning, and I'm like, this kid sounds like he's 11. And I get that he's supposed to be really smart and everything, but like, come on, 4 to 11 is a big jump. But now he's aged up, so now he sounds like he's his age, which is great. Newt just came into it, which is really exciting, like actually came into it. So that's like the chapter I ended on, is he's finally going to speak to Thomas, and I'm excited about that because Newt's one of the best. So that's this book. I'm not super jazzed about it. I know that some people really love the Maze Runner series, and like, good for you. I'm so glad. I wish I could have. I wanted to love it. I wanted to love it so much and be part of that, and I really don't. But I'm going to finish this anyway. And then this book, Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece, is what it sounds like. It is all about the making of a movie. And it's all fictionalized, but also I assume that Tom Hanks has so much insider information for obvious reasons, so it's very well done. There's so much backstory though. It's like every single character that is important to this plot and to the movie, however, whatever it's gonna be, however it's gonna be made, everybody that is somewhat important to it has gotten like a full backstory so far, which I really don't mind. I think that's kind of great. I had a lot of fun with that, but there has just been so much, and we're like finally getting into the actual making of it. It's divided into sections, and just so you have like a little, just so you have an idea of what it's been like. Literally the first section is called backstory, but like every single section is some sort of backstory. So there's backstory, source material, development hell, prep, casting, the shoot, and post. And I think I'm in prep right now. Oh no, I just started casting. Okay, so I finished prep. So we've gone through 4 of the 7 stages, and I'm having a good time. I'm excited to get into casting, but again, I'm assuming we're gonna have like tons of backstory for whoever like the leads are. That's my expectation, is that we're going to learn who are gonna be the leads in this movie, and we're gonna just learn so much about them, which is okay. I don't mind that, but it is a lot. I had to take a break. It's not like quick reading. Like there's some books that I read and I can read 20 pages in 30 minutes. That's about the best I can do usually. I average like 50 pages in an hour. I'm happy with that. When I can get 50 pages in an hour, I'm pretty happy. I'm not a super fast reader. But there's some books that like I read like that, or I'll be reading for 20 minutes and won't even realize that it feels like it's been 5 minutes. This book, as much as I'm enjoying it, is not one of those books. I read it for 20 minutes and I've read like 10 pages. So it just takes me a lot longer to get through, and that's why I needed a break. I was like, I need some fantasy, I need something quick and easy and fast, and that's what I got. So anyway, okay. Enough rambling on. Like I said, I'm gonna go make breakfast and maybe some sort of hot beverage or something, although I think it's warming up outside now. And then I will just get straight into reading. So next time I see you, I'll probably be on the porch or something, and I'll be getting into it. So stay tuned. The lighting may not be ideal, but the ambiance is perfect. I really hope that you can hear the chickens well enough to know that I am fully joking. They're so noisy in the morning, but enjoy. I really hope that you can hear them. If not, I just kind of sound crazy. Okay, I made my sushi bowl. So much seaweed and so much mayonnaise on accident. And because we were talking about Dylan O'Brien, of course my coffee is in my Dylan O'Brien mug. It says, I like my drink hot, Dylan O'Brien hot. And this is one that a friend got me as kind of a joke. And there's a hair in my coffee. Don't worry, it's my hair, but oh my gosh, gross. That's disgusting. Okay, and it is indeed hot coffee. It's warmer out here than I thought it was going to be. It said like 63, which, you know, in the shade is usually pretty cold, but there's a lot of sun in this chair, as you can see, which is why the lighting is like having trouble, because I'm in the shade, but there's so much sun. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, let's just hop into the Fever Code. Oh, I meant to say I love y'all so much that when I showed these videos in the first clip, I put the dust jackets when I showed these videos. But I love y'all so much that in that clip, I put the dust jackets on these books in order to show them to you. I don't read my hardbacks with the dust jacket on. So I've been reading them. Dust jackets are off. They're usually on my shelf where the book goes, or for this one, since I'm getting rid of it, it's just on the other shelf. It's just laying there. But yeah, I love you so much that I took the time to put the dust jackets back on just so that I could immediately take them off to read. So I'm gonna hop into the Fever Code. I have to pause to say that I just really love Newt, and I'm so glad that he's in this now, because we needed him. We needed somebody super fun. And Minho, I loved Minho also. He was one of the ones that I liked in the books. So, or in the, you know, original series. So I'm excited to see both of them. And yeah, I also love the short chapters. This is such a terrible thing to say, but I love the short chapters because it makes me feel like I'm reading more, and it makes the reading go faster, because I can be like, okay, one more chapter, I'll just keep going. It's only 5 pages or 3 pages or whatever. So I'm loving the short chapters too. I think I will be able to get through this fairly quickly. I have, if I want it, probably 2 hours to read. I don't need to go into work until later today because I don't have a whole lot to do. So I'm kind of just waiting until checkout in case people check out at 11. So I might not go in till then. So I have at least 2 hours right now. So I'm just gonna keep going. Maybe I'll get like an hour and a half in or something. We'll see. Hopefully you can hear me okay over the rain, but I'm also speaking quietly so I don't wake anybody up because my parents are still sleeping, which is crazy. It's too early for my dad, but anyway, it's too late for my dad to still be sleeping. There we go. But this is technically, it's day 2 of reading, but I didn't read anything yesterday, so it's like kind of day 3, but I'm not counting yesterday. I just had a lot going on. But I'm back at it with the Fever Code. We're at page 140, chapter 26, and I would really like to be able to get through this. So I have a couple hours again before work. This is another day that's going to be kind of slow, so I'm just going to read as much as I can. I have some hot coffee and I put whipped cream in it because why not? Okay, what's going on in the book? I don't know how much I'm worrying about spoilers, but I'm going to try not to give away like major plot points or something, I guess. Gally just came into this, which I really did like Gally, or I wanted to like Gally. I think because of the actor that plays him in the movies, but I wanted to like Gally in the original ones, and so I want to like him here, but he's definitely less likable so far, but I'm still like hoping that he'll be kind of fun. And Thomas is still stupid. He still asks really dumb questions. Like, they told them, we're gonna take you to the crank pits. And he said, what's in there? Like, what do you think is in there? Cranks. Buddy, get with the program. And I get that, like, he's scared and he's young and whatever, but, like, you don't have to ask all the stupid questions. So he's still asking dumb questions. Thomas is still our idiot boy. I am liking this better than I liked the original series, though. I'm having a little bit more fun, so. And it's going quicker. So I'm going to try to just get through it and make some good progress today. I'm checking in because I'm at page 200 and I only have like about 150 pages left, so I'm really hoping that within the next few hours I can get this read. I'm not a very fast reader, so I'm expecting it to take a little over 2 hours, but I'm giving myself 3 hours. And I don't know that I'm going to just read straight through. I'm going to try to read for 2 hours and see how far I make it and see how much is left and maybe reassess and see if I want to keep going, because it's currently after 4 o'clock, and when I had the idea to do this and just like check in every 30 minutes with y'all, instead of like filming myself reading and the pages and everything, I figure I'll just check in every 30 minutes, see how far I've made it, see what thoughts I have, and just keep going and get that done. I had that idea, and then I realized I needed to I needed to edit a video for tomorrow. I had it all filmed and everything, but I hadn't edited it. So I just went ahead and did that. And now it's after 4, and I don't really want to be reading until 7 necessarily. Maybe. We'll see. But I've already done quite a bit of reading today, and I just didn't think that this would take like my entire evening. So we'll see. Maybe I'll decide that I can keep reading till 7. Maybe. But I'm going to put a max on like 3 hours unless I'm just super, super close. Hopefully cross your fingers for me, y'all, that it'll be more like 2 hours. Maybe I can get this all read in 2 hours. I'd be really, really surprised. I think it's gonna be more like 2.5, but maybe 2 hours. We'll see. And like I said, instead of like filming all of that, I think I'm just gonna check in 30 minutes and let you know how it's been. So let me get a stopwatch or get a timer set for that, and then I will go ahead and read. 30 minutes on the clock, and I'm just gonna see how far we can make it. Okay, the first 30 minutes are down, and I read 28 pages, which is honestly better than I expected. Got to the end of another chapter. I mean, I read a lot of chapters, but perfectly at the end of a chapter, and I'm starting on chapter 42, page 229. Before I do my next 30 minutes, I'm going to get some food, but to y'all, I mean, it'll just be a really quick transition and I'll be back with my next update. But some thoughts I'm having, I guess. Like I've said earlier in this video, I'm liking this book more than I did the original series, but it's still not something that I'm super into, so I'm kind of just reading it out of obligation. I really just want to be done, which is part of the reason I'm doing these sprints right now, because I just want to get done as quickly as possible, and the best way to do that is to make myself read. Just sit down and do it for a couple of hours and just get it done. It is kind of interesting to see the first, like the early days in the maze, and to see from everybody's perspective, not necessarily, but to see the first kids in the maze and how the early stages went. But it's not all that interesting because we did kind of see that. I know like when Thomas enters, it all kind of changes really quickly, but we're also not seeing it in super vivid detail right now, so it's not that interesting. I think possibly the most interesting thing to me in this book has been the adults. I do kind of appreciate how James Dashner tried to give them some, like, give us sympathy for them, I guess, or he tried to just give them some goodness. Like, they're running these experiments on these kids and they're putting them in this maze, and there's been like torture early on and, you know, all these crazy things. And anytime that the adults are confronted about it, they're like, well, we're trying to make things better. We're trying to find a cure. We're doing a good thing. Like, you don't understand, this is a good thing. And I do think it's kind of interesting to like put that in there and have that perspective and see that they're doing these things that are bad, obviously, but they think they have a good reason. So that's kind of the most interesting thing about the book to me, but I don't really feel like it's gone into quite enough for it to really be that interesting. So I still am just kind of reading out of obligation. But that being said, I'm going to get some dinner and then read for the next 30 minutes. Back for another check-in. This last 30 minutes took over an hour, and by that I mean that partway through I went out to stack firewood. Here's the proof. Look at those nails. That's the sign of hard work. So this half hour took quite a bit longer, but I did manage to read basically 30 whole pages. No, 40 whole pages. Wasn't I on 228 last time? Am I crazy? I don't remember. I think I was on 228 last time. I'm now on 268, and I read like a page and a half more just so I could get to another chapter. But that's pretty impressive for me. That, like, I read almost 40 pages. And yes, I'm starting to skim. I would like to just be done with it. But that's pretty great. I'm pretty happy with that. So I have about 80 pages left. And I don't think I'm going to read for another hour. I think I'm going to do another half hour, see where I'm at, and then probably call it quits until tomorrow, which is kind of disappointing. I really did want to get it done. Maybe I'll read a little bit more before I go to bed, but I don't know. It's just a lot. I mean, it's not even 7, so I could like keep going, but I don't know. We'll see if I really want to. But interesting things are happening. So, you know, maybe I'll get towards the end and feel like I have to finish it now. I'm not going to spoil what's happening necessarily, but Thomas and Teresa and a couple of the others are like really actually complicit in everything now. Some interesting turn of events have happened, and they really have no more excuses either. So, like I said in the last update, that's kind of the most interesting thing to me, is just how everybody's justifying their actions. Again, that could have been gotten into a little bit more, I think, but it is interesting. Everybody is just having to justify what they're doing because it's for the greater good and it's the best thing for humanity. So that was interesting, but that's about it. I am interested to see how the last little bit goes. Like, I figure how it has to end. I'm just kind of waiting to see like the last little bit before we get there. That's the thing, is like I know how it's going to end and I know how it's going to go, so this backstory is really not that interesting to me. I'm gonna compare it with The Hunger Games because I read The Hunger Games and then I read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I have not read Sunrise on the Reaping yet. I really, really want to. But Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is Coriolanus Snow's backstory. And that was interesting to me because he starts off as such a different person than how he ends up. And so it was very interesting to see how that happened. Whereas this one is all about Thomas, and he really isn't very different from how he is in the maze. Like, I mean, especially because everybody who wakes up in the maze has no memories. So it's not like, oh, he got to this really dark place and then became this other person or something. It's like, no, he's the same person. This is just how the maze started, which we get a lot of that backstory in The Maze Runner. We don't get all of it, so this is definitely filling in some gaps. But I think that's why it's not so interesting to me, because I know where it's going and I know how it's gonna end. And I don't know, it's just not super, super interesting in my opinion. It's not terrible. Like I've said a couple times already, I like it better than I did The Maze Runner. Something about that was just not fun for me. It was just so much, too many books. I didn't mind the first one, but then it just kept going and I didn't really feel like it needed to keep going. I was kind of over it. So this one at least is just one book. I'm glad that I'm only committing to one. I think if there were more, I wouldn't even do it. But anyway, all of that being said, I'm going to read for another 30 minutes, and that might be the last check-in for today, which is a little unfortunate. Like I said, I really wanted to just get it done, but I'll go for another 30 minutes, see how far I make it, and I will let you know. So I'll see you on the flip side. I know I said I was only going to read for 30 more minutes and then just call it quits, but I only had about 40 pages after that, and since I've been averaging 40 pages per 30 minutes, I figured I could just finish it with one more sprint. So I did just finish The Fever Code, and I mean, it ended how you would expect it to end. I feel like there were no big surprises towards the end. There was a little bit of action, which I appreciate. There were some, you know, moments where like, okay, how are they going to get out of this? But you know they're going to get out of it. I am glad that it at least ended the way that I thought it would, because there was a moment of panic in my mind where I'm like, what if it doesn't end like that? What if James Dashner decides for some crazy reason to end it somewhere else? I would have been so upset. I'm not going to say exactly how it ended, but I mean, if you've read The Maze Runner, you can probably figure out where this one ends. Especially if you start reading this one, it's pretty easy to tell where it's going to end. Basically, it ends right where The Maze Runner starts, so that was not surprising at all. I did forget to look how old everybody is. Okay, so it has just been 10 years. What? No, it's been 11 years, so he's like 15. I think that if you really, really loved The Maze Runner, and especially if you're still pretty young, then The Fever Code would be fun to read. It would be fun to get all of the backstory, and some of the backstory we already have through the Maze Runner series, all 4 of them, and some of it's like hinted at and you can kind of figure it out. The Fever Code just spells it all out for you and gives you all of the background and all of the details. So if you're really super into the Maze Runner, then this one would be fun. And you know, I say go for it and read it. But if you never really cared all that much about the Maze Runner, or if you feel like you've aged out of it, then don't really bother with the Fever Code. It's just more of the same, kind of. I mean, I read it, yay, cool, but I don't really have any strong feelings towards it either way. I'm just, I read it and now I can get rid of it, so that's about it. But anyway, I hope that this is not where the video ends. I'm not planning for it to be. I would like to maybe read a tiny bit of the making of another major motion picture masterpiece. I don't know if I'll get to that or not. I don't know, I didn't really have much of a plan for this video. I thought this reading vlog would be like over the span of 3 days maybe, and I would finish this really quickly, and now we're on the 3rd day, and I don't know if I should continue and do more tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be so busy, I'm not gonna have time for reading. So it might have to be, I don't know, another couple days, I don't know. But the other thing I wanted to do was to go through all of the books that I'm getting rid of, and also go drop those off places and bring y'all along with me. And I probably won't film that a ton. I'm too like shy to film in public, but I might just film a little bit and let you know like where I'm going and if I pick anything up. I plan to at least do that in this video, but I don't really know that I'm gonna read Tom Hanks' book in this video. I kind of just ran out of time. It took me so long to finish The Fever Code that now I don't really know. I don't want to make like an hour-long video. I don't want it to be that long, and who knows how long it is already. But I will probably at least film the books I'm getting rid of and film me taking those to like little free libraries and things. So I will at least see you guys for that. Thanks for coming along with this journey and keeping me somewhat company and letting me just like ramble and actually finish this book, because I wasn't really sure I was going to, and 3 days to read it is not too bad. maybe 4, maybe it's been 4 days. I don't know. However long it has actually taken me. I don't remember when I started it, but I guess I've been doing this vlog for 3 days now. So that's not too bad. And it's nice to just have it done, be able to get rid of it. So thanks for coming along, and I'll see you in the next clip, I guess. Trying to spice things up a little bit in this vlog. So now I'm going to go through all the books that I'm getting rid of, and then maybe take y'all along as I actually get rid of them. I have a little free library I want to take them to. There's also an actual library that has like a take a book, leave a book shelf. So I'm going to bring a bunch there also, and maybe find some books I've been looking for. I know I'm not supposed to be getting new books, but if I find books for a series that I don't have completed, I might grab those or something. So I'm going to do that right now. It's really not the best day for this. It's really, like, you might be able to hear the wind. It's really overcast and cold, and I think I'm just going to freeze. But I also have a little bit of time before work, and I got up early specifically for this, so I'm going to do it anyway. So without further ado, let me get into the books that I'm getting rid of. I'm just going to go through the books from my shelf that I'm getting rid of, and then I have a bunch that a friend sent me home with, but they're like duplicates, so I'm going to get rid of those also. Getting rid of A Case of Need by Michael Crichton. I feel kind of bad. This one, the cover is so beat up, and I was just going to keep it because it's a Michael Crichton, and I was going to someday have like the whole collection, but I read this one and I really didn't like it, and I'm never ever going to read it again. So I'm just going to get rid of it. I gotta do it. I do feel really bad about how bad condition it is, but that's why I'm just putting it in like a free library or something. If somebody wants it, they can have it, have at it. Although I did just think that this one would be really great for like paper flowers and things, so I might actually do that. Oh no, I might have talked myself out of it. Maybe, so this is coming off of my shelf at least, but this might actually go in my like art supply bucket, and then I'll just rip it up for projects and things, because I really, on a like whole entire moral level, I did not like this book, and I will not read it again. I think it was well written and well done, but morally did not like it, and it's already falling apart. Who is really going to want this one? Maybe somebody, but also it's falling apart. So this one might just get repurposed. I am going to be getting rid of Hadassah though. I mean, I've done a review on this one, you know my thoughts. Because You'll Never Meet Me is one that I didn't actually read. I started it, but it's very, very middle grade, and I just was not into it, and I wasn't vibing. And it is really pretty. Like, I love the colors on the cover. I love a gradient, and that's kind of why I picked it up. But I started reading it, and I'm just not going to continue it, so hopefully somebody else will find it and really like it. I'm getting rid of these two, The Last Battle and The Magician's Nephew, because I have more of the Chronicle of Narnia in a different set. I have a different set, and I do really like these two. Like, I like how small this one is and whatever, but like, I'm gonna just try to get the other set instead of having duplicates in other versions. So getting rid of these, not because I don't like them, but just I don't need them. Getting rid of The Rescue. Again, I'm a collector. That's the word. I was gonna say collectionist, and that's also not a word. I'm a collector, and so part of me wants to hold on to like all of my Nicholas Sparks books and just have them all, but I'm never gonna read this one again. I liked the characters, but the story was just way too long and way too drawn out and way too boring. So getting rid of this one. Getting rid of this one because I only have this book, The Serpent's Shadow. It's part of the Kane Chronicles by Rick Riordan, and I do really, really love Percy Jackson, and maybe I would love the Kane Chronicles, but this is like book 3. Yeah, this is book 3. I don't have the other books, and I've had it on my shelf for like probably 10 years and haven't gotten the other books, so if I do ever decide that I want to branch out in Rick Riordan and read more than just Percy Jackson, I can pick these up again. So I need to get rid of it. I need to get it off of my shelf. And then I'm getting rid of all of these. So this is the Maze Runner series, the Fever Code, and the Eye of Mines, which is from a different series, but it's James Dashner. And y'all should know by now my thoughts on the Maze Runner. I mean, in this video, I finished reading the Fever Code and gave you my thoughts. So I just have no desire to read them again. There is, like I said, I'm a collector. I like having the full set. It's really fun, and I really wanted to get into it, but I'm just not, so I'm gonna get rid of these because they're not doing me any good. And also getting rid of that series made space on my shelf for some new books that I got that were given to me by a friend. I didn't buy these, but they were given to me, and they've just been like sitting next to me on on the shelf that I'm like leaning against right now that has like some space. But they haven't been on my actual bookshelf, and so now they can fit on my bookshelf because I got rid of all of my James Dashner. This is not the most comfortable, but we're gonna keep going. And like I said, these next books are just duplicates, so it's a whole bunch of Cassandra Clare. I will just very briefly go through them, but it's Cassandra Clare. 3 copies of City of Bones. This one I'm so tempted to keep just because I like the cover and it's not like the other covers I have and it's so pretty, but I haven't even read it yet. I don't know how big of a fan I'm gonna be, and even if I am a big fan, I don't need this other one, so I'm getting rid of it. These two are just duplicates. I have the paperbacks and I think I have a hardback. Maybe not. But I have a different paperback set of these, and then I have a couple hardbacks from the series, so I'm not keeping extra paperbacks. So these three are going. And then City of Glass and City of Fallen Angels. This is the set I have, but I have the whole thing. These are just duplicates. City of Ashes, again, don't need the paperbacks. Another copy of City of Glass. And then hardbacks of City of Lost Souls and City of Heavenly Fire. And these two I do have duplicates in hardback on my shelf. So I'm keeping some of the hardbacks, but I'm not keeping duplicates for obvious reasons. I don't need two hardback copies. So getting rid of these. So all in all, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, I'm getting rid of 9 books that my friend sent me back with. So probably like half of what she sent me back with. And then I'm getting rid of 12 books from my shelf, which I feel like I should go through my shelf a little bit more carefully, but honestly, I do look at it and go through it, and when I want to get rid of something, I've just been putting it off to the side, so I don't think there are other books that I really want to get rid of. Oh, and I guess 13 if you count A Case of Need, but that will be going into my art bucket, so I mean, it kind of counts. So I'd say that's pretty good. And now let's go actually get them out of my house and out of my room and give people opportunity, other people opportunity to read them and hopefully love them. Oh, I also want to go into a bookstore and look for some books. Not for me, for somebody else, for a gift for somebody. So I will also be doing that if I have time. I need to be really quick. Anyway, yeah, I will see you either, you know, me putting these away or just recapping for you and telling you what happened, I guess. I don't know, but see you soon. Okay, so lucky for me, there's currently nobody here, so I'm going to try to organize this and then put some books in here. Okay, so I was gonna stop at a thrift store nearby to put the children's books, like these and these two, but since they all fit in here, there we go, they're all in here. I put a bunch behind, well, I guess you can't see, but all the Cassandra Clare. And hopefully somebody will find these and really love them and get a real kick out of this. So that's it for this one. Now on to the actual library. Okay, so I did not take y'all long for that last run, but I did put all 6 James Dashner books on the Take a Book, Leave a Book shelf at the library. They didn't really have anything good, so I didn't take anything from there, but then I went into a bookstore looking for a Father's Day gift, and I got myself something. I know I'm not supposed to be buying books, but there was this Pride and Prejudice book for $6. This is a classic that I have not read yet, and people always ask, oh, have you read Jane Austen? And then they assume that you've read Pride and Prejudice, and I haven't. So now I can read it. This one has been kind of on my list for a while, and I did manage to find a Father's Day gift. This is not exactly what I wanted, but I got this book. I think that this is going to be really cool, actually. Like, has all of the colors and then where you find them, like, in nature, and I don't know, I think it's very cool. I think my dad will enjoy it. He's quite an artist and loves nature and things, so hopefully this will be a good one. Father's Day is tomorrow. It kind of crept up on me. I've had ideas, but I haven't really known exactly what to get, and I thought for some reason that Father's Day was in July, and it's not. So this is something I can at least give him something immediately tomorrow. Anyway, okay, but that's it. I have got to get to work, so I'm going to sign off and I guess see y'all when I read later. I don't know, I should just end the video here, but I don't really have time to think about that, so talk to you later. You know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this one. I hope that it was a little bit different and, you know, it's a little bit more than just a regular review. So hopefully you enjoyed watching me finish The Fever Code and hearing all my thoughts on that as I went along. I know that I do have fun filming these videos. They're just a lot more involved, and I usually don't really know the time frame or what I'm gonna get done, so it's a little bit more intimidating to film them. But I had fun and I hope you did too, so thanks for coming along for the journey. I know that I didn't get into Tom Hanks' book at all. I'll have to do that next time, or maybe just finish it on my own or something. But this video is probably already gonna be way too long, so I'm just gonna call it here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!